You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/Truth on Tap show. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Opening up the truth pipeline for these bitches.
Truth on Tap. Truth.
My right to say how I say it's mine to give. My mind, my heart, it's mine to share. My songs, my heart.
Truth on Tap.
Right to use. Just the way to use. Chop it up and recombine. Chop it up and recombine.
What is going on? 11 o'clock p.m. 9/2/2014. Yeah, Genghis featuring Stereo Black Star Super Negro. I'm going to stop saying it. It's just the intro song. It's just going to be it's going to be an extension of the intro song. Kev is free. Style. Girl. That means I'm not even committing to being freestyle. I broke it up, see? I put a period in between. What you going to do about that? Anything? Ooh, lots of vowels in French, lots of vowels. Watch out for the vowels. God, I mean, Wheel of Fortune over there, people will go broke, you know what I'm saying? I got NBC News up here for no particular reason. I was going to talk about philosophy tonight. I mean, I've got an article up called What Would Plato Think of TV from the Atlantic. Somebody wrote a book about this. This Rebecca Goldstein must be a Jew, according to Jubaka. She is a Jew. Anything that ends in Steen. And I have to be careful because my last name's Stead, and I have Mary, a Jewish root. But, you know, that's a few letters difference as we get into the vowels. Socrates and the pursuit of happiness I was going to talk about. And I said, you know what? It's a little too deep for what I'm in the mood for. A little too deep for what I'm in the mood for tonight. I want to be free. Style. Free. In my style. Somebody has made it in the chat already. Lisa's first in the chat room. Lisa gets the official first place award, which is awarded to the first person in my chat room every show, and that award consists of me telling you that you won first place. Yeah. I want to congratulate you for winning that award. That award is something that you can brag to your friends about. It is something that you can, if you have a normal job or you go to school, you can brag to your coworkers or classmates about. And frankly, getting that award can lead to bigger and better awards. I mean, once you tell somebody, I was first in the Truth on Tap chat, all of a sudden you start getting invited to parties. People want you to sign things, very strange things, like, you know, will you sign my skateboard? It's all I have with me. This is how success begins. You know, you become the first person in the Truth on Tap chat room, and all of a sudden you're known. Your name is no longer lost out there in the fringes of society. It's front and center in the spotlight. So congratulations, Lisa, for being first in the chat. Suck it, everyone, she said. She's the winner. No one else is. That's how it goes. We're freestyle. I'm about to stop the music. I think I'd like to talk. And maybe we'll play with some sound effects or something. I took a 7-day Be Positive challenge, so I can't really attack anybody. It's going to be hard to do the news today, tonight with that limitation.
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
That is Wes Johnson. Find him at wesjohnson.com. We're doing freestyle today. You know this, man. And it's just getting started. Let's go ahead and start talking. Now, I'm going to read some of the headlines. And what's funny is I told you that I'm doing this 7-day Be Positive challenge by my friend Chris Levesque, who often helps me co-host the Washington Capitol show that I do during hockey season, okay? Good guy. We're both ex-military. He retired. He spent his full 20 years in. And he said he put this challenge out. I don't know where it came from. It wasn't like the ice bucket challenge. I think it was directly from him. And he said, can you be positive for 7 days? Can you just don't say anything negative for 7 days? Can you buy somebody a cup of coffee that you don't know? Do something nice for someone. Give them compliments, genuine compliments, things like that. Well, I started the challenge, and I had already scheduled a radio show. I believe it was on Sunday, that basically was attacking something. I think fakers or something like that. So I said, with the exception of that, since I've already planned it, I'm going to do this 7-day challenge. So now I'm on like day 3 or 4. And knowing that, and this is going to be good for you, the listener, knowing that as I read through these headlines, normally I can comment on these headlines and bring you clarity. I may not be able to talk about some of them. And that alone is going to be worth looking at. How does a positive person digest news and all? Here it is. Here's the top few headlines. I pick random news sources. Tonight I picked NBC. Obama sending 350 more troops to Iraq. Okay. Joan Rivers on life support, daughter says. Can't talk about it. Another American doctor infected with Ebola. Can't talk about it. NATO plans rapid response forced to thwart Russia. I can't talk about it. Girl who shot instructor said Uzi was too much for her. Famous lawyer jumps into Justin Bieber crash case. I doubt there's anything positive in that. Let me just skim down here and see if I can find something positive. No. No. Brian Williams to recline or not to recline. I would, but it's video and that'll affect my bandwidth. That could be positive or at least neutral. Family of strangled teen. No, can't talk about it. So look at this. I'm committed to being positive for 7 days, and now I can't talk about the news at all. There is one positive headline here. I assume that it's going to be a positive story. They trick you. Runner with autism makes strides on the track, but it's video. And as you guys know, until we get cable, I'm on DSL, so I can't do anything that might choke my bandwidth up or down, or it can really affect my show's quality, which isn't that great to begin with. U.S. Open 15-year-old CC Bellis loses in juniors. Can't talk about it. Oh, let's see. Oh, here you go. Here's one. Well, it's video, though. But Mississippi trio catches record-setting gator. Yeah. 792-pound gator snared in Mississippi. Now, that could be positive or negative. I mean, if you're, for example, PETA, you might say, well, that's terrible. That big old reptile was probably enjoying his life. He got that big by fighting his way through and eating a lot of things. And now they've caught him, these redneck bastards, and they're going to skin him and eat him and kill him and all of that. But for someone who hunts alligators for a living, well, this is great news. I mean, they've caught one alligator the size of 3. That's a day's work in 10 minutes. Good for them. Good for them. I'll call that positive. I don't know why, but I'll call it positive. U.S. to test DNA from Somalia terror strike victims. See, I don't, guys, this is going to be very hard for me. Very hard to talk about news and stay positive. And think about what I'm saying with that. What a sad truth you come to when you think about that. Barco, KAK, Sasha sucks. Which Russian are you talking about? Who cares what pedos think about gators? What does pedos have to do with it? I'm going to pull up this image, but this better not be a trick. Barco, send me an image. Players. Okay. What are we looking at here? Are you talking about his plus-minus rating? Nobody cares about plus-minus. Plus-minus is a terrible stat. For those of you that don't know, the plus-minus rating of an NHL player is when he's on the ice, how many goals are scored, versus when he's on the ice, how many goals are scored against. It may have nothing to do with him. It may have to do with his other 2 offensive teammates or his 3 defensive teammates, including the goalie, who gets a false sense of confidence because the better players are on the ice. I mean, you could get into crazy theories about plus-minus. Plus-minus doesn't mean anything. How many goals did Crosby score last year? Do you know that, Barco? Was it like 26? Ovi scored about 52. So, yeah, you have that. Apocalypse, hail victory. Andrew says, evening all. We're doing freestyle tonight, guys, but I'm limited. I have a bit of a choke chain on because I took the 7-day Be Positive challenge. So, I agree with that, Barco. Ovechkin does not play defense. He doesn't do things anymore that make him sweat. And believe me when I say that most of us Caps fans are a little pissed off about it. But I can't talk about that. That's negative. Red Wings, good team. I've got bad memories of the Red Wings from 1999. Yes, I'm getting choked. And it's voluntary, which is a little bit scary. What can I talk about that's positive? See, I was going to talk about The Pursuit of Happiness, not the movie, but The Pursuit of Happiness, bringing the science of happiness to life, which is actually a website, pursuit-of-happiness.org. Good website. It's got the psychology of happiness, the online certificate course. You can actually learn the psychology of happiness and get a certificate for it. How about that shit? Well-being, 3-credit online course, and how happy are you? The happiness quiz. Look, none of us are Mary Poppins here, and I don't expect that. But they brought my man Socrates into the mix, and he did have some focus on happiness, and he was one of the first ever philosophers to say you can go after happiness. Because if you didn't know this, the ancient Greeks around his time believed that unless the gods bestowed happiness upon you, you weren't going to get it, and to go reaching for it was kind of a pompous thing to do. How dare you seek happiness? Seriously, they felt this way. You get punished for it, seeking happiness outside of the God's will. Crazy stuff. He said you can go for it. But that's why they sentenced him to death. Jesus, I can't even talk about Socrates if I want to stay positive. He was convicted of corrupting the youth. You know what that was about. Yeah. Questioning the authority is never very popular. And long, long ago, it was deadly. Luckily, we've come a little bit along the path where we can question authority now without being beheaded. Well, unless you're in the Middle East. You're still going to be beheaded. Apocalypse is a big Coyotes fan. Good team. Alexander Ovechkin scored his best goal ever against Phoenix, which was the goal that he scored while on his back doing a full rotation. So let's take a look. I'm looking at the news here, but I'm not liking it because it's all negative. That's on NBC. Maybe, if I go to Google News, I'll find some which really just draws us news from everywhere else. I don't think they have a route to capture their news. They just say, let's get it from here. I mean, if you look at it, Reuters, let's see, where's this one? New York Times, they got Wikipedia on there, Los Angeles Times, Christian Science Monitor, Reuters, USA Today. So they're drawing from everywhere else. This is an aggregate here. And I'm looking for anything neutral or positive that we can talk about. Well, this is debatably positive. 2 convicted in 1983 North Carolina murder are cleared after DNA test. How would you feel if you had just spent 31 years in prison for murder and the DNA came through and cleared you? Happens all the time. You heard of the Innocence Project, right? I know people who would rather just see somebody go to jail based on a suspicion than to possibly let a guilty one go free. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather see 10 guilties go free than to see one innocent in the big house. Because the guilties that go free, they're going to end up in there anyway. It's a lifestyle for them. But the innocent, unless they have that kind of lifestyle, that's not cool. That's really not cool. I mean, that enrages me to see an innocent person spend 20 and 30 years in prison. And you know what it is? It's the prosecution and the police. They want to get a guy. They don't always care who it is. As long as they can get somebody for the crime, that is a major success for them. And once you get to the prosecution, if they can get somebody in prison, that is a major success for them. If they don't get them convicted, they start to feel pretty ineffective in their position. How many of you guys have pride in your work? How many of you guys have almost obsessive pride in your work? How many of you guys are OCD about it? Curious about that? Please tell me in the chat room. Health, Ebola, can't talk about it. Diets work, but brands don't make much difference, study finds. There you go. So for obese and overweight adults trying to lose weight, low-carb and low-fat diets both worked well. And brand did not matter much, according to a new study in JAMA, whatever that is. I guess if it comes out of Pennsylvania, it would be PAJAMA, pajama. Yeah, see how I did that? See what I did there? Quick with the wit. That's what I do. Shovels and rope inside the relationship of America's darling duo, RollingStone.com. Let's pull it up. Shovels and rope. I mean, that sounds like a very kinky sex life if that's where they're going with this. The rope would be okay, but once you introduce the shovel, I'm saying, first thing I think is Psycho. You know, didn't he hit his mother over the top of the head with a shovel? Kabonk! Jesus Christ. Shovels and rope inside the relationship of America's darling duo. The husband and wife act on the origins of their band, their new album Swimmin' Time, and why their music is like a Tootsie Pop. Who are these people? Carrie Ann Hurst? I'm keeping it greased, says the female half of Shovels and Rope. Have you guys ever heard of Shovels and Rope? That's the name of this group. That's terrifying. I don't think I'll ever listen to them. If someone plays them and I accidentally hear it, I believe I may flee. I believe that's entirely possible. All right, let's see what the fucktardian refugees of the chat room are doing. Uh-oh. Barco says, play their music. I want to hear. I don't have it. I was just reading about it. Mars1.com. On his back doing a full rotation. That's some gay thing? No, it wasn't a gay thing. It was a score thing. Thank you very kindly. Let's nominate Spreakerites for Mars 1 participation. Who wants to go? Okay, all right. Who would you like to see from Spreaker go to Mars and never come back? Now, this could mean one of two things. It could mean that you're so proud of them that you want them to be a part of human history, the first settlers ever to settle on another planet. Or it could mean that you just want them gone. But what if they can still broadcast from Mars? Oh, I'm sure there'll be a delay. But they could still upload the podcast. Who says they leave Spreaker just because they're on Mars? So that's fine. That's fine. Andy Bong. Both of you said Andy Bong. I only heard Andy Bong on the News Guy show. Fuck it. I know we're going to talk about Spreaker hosts. It always turns into this. Okay, I thought he was one of the most energetic people I've ever heard on the radio. Do you guys like him or not like him? If I had him on a call to my show, I could go take a half-hour break. I mean, the dude's going 400 miles an hour without a missing a beat. I've been practicing for a year to try to get up to that speed, and I'm at like 150. I mean, he just goes. Does he have a learning disability? Because he has that certain speech that sounds a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. It's not like a lisp, but it's like someone who's hard of hearing has a certain way of speaking. They have a problem with their R's and stuff. Apocalypse says that's why we have to get rid of him. He is the best host on Spreaker. Okay, all right. What if we uplift him, Apocalypse? What if by uplifting Andy Bong, we feel the draft and ride in his draft, which has very little wind resistance? Nothing wrong with that, is there? I'm not saying hang on to his coattails. I'm not saying stand on the shoulders of giants. I'm saying let the breeze pull you along too. Don't let him sing, please. Andrew, my Australian friend, if you guys didn't hear the show earlier today, then you wouldn't know that I have 3 new staff members on the Truth on Tap team. One is the hairy Jew we call Chewbacca. We have the gay OC Brit. He was born in Australia but lives in England now. And then we have the short response bitch. So all 3 of them are now in the house. And they're all imaginary. I've created them. I do 2 of their voices. A lady actually does the 3rd one. And none of them sing. None of them will sing unless they're paid large sums of money. And no one's going to do that. So you're never going to hear them sing. But can Andy Bong sing? Is that a fact? I'd like to hear him sing if he does. Let's see if we've got some good stuff. Shovels and Rope. It's not going to happen, folks. Sorry. You can go listen to him. I will not. I don't like the name. I'm not reading the negative news. I can't because of my 7-day commitment. This one's kind of weird. Can indie cartoon Hullabaloo give new steam to hand-drawn animation? What's going on in Pakistan? PBS NewsHour. Well, I'm almost afraid to pull that up, and yet I'm not afraid of anything, so I'm going to pull it up. Don't go to video. Please don't go to video. Ah, shit, it's going to video. I got to close it. Ebola crisis prompts, can't do it. New history, wars. Well, this may not, it sounds negative, but it may not be negative. The new history wars. Now, I'm guessing this has something to do with a book review. Look at this. The new, original, revised, edited, contextual history of the United States of America. Yeah, revisionist history is a bitch, isn't it? Well, I think it's important to learn actual history. And I'm looking at this, and this says, the essential process of reconsideration and reevaluation takes place in all disciplines. Imagine a diagnosis from a physician who does not read revisionist medical research. Yeah, you kind of need to know what's actual and not what we created in some Disney-like idealistic, euphoric sense of times. Columbus was an asshole. Shit, I have to stay positive. Columbus was made to be something he wasn't. Because when you see what he really was, you see that he was not a hero. I think I can say that and still be positive. You guys got to help me. How can I do a radio talk show when you know that even though I like to think positive or neutral, I have to call out the negative so we can see that it's negative. But I agreed to stay positive for a week. This is the hardest show I've ever done. I need your help. What the freaking can I talk about while staying positive and still being informative? That's racist. Ricky, is that Ricky Sands? I'm borrowing from your mom. Shut it, or there goes your inheritance. Uh-oh. Lisa's rich. Ask her for handouts. What's a large sum of money to them? Lisa, I'm actually taking donations for this show, but I don't ask anybody. I have an ad on the Facebook page. No one has donated anything yet. And seriously, if I start getting donations, I'm going to start beefing up the show. I'm going to get new equipment and all that. But the first person that donates to this show, I don't care if it's $5, gets a lifetime commercial spot on this show. Seriously, it's right there on the Facebook page. So no one's taken that offer yet. I mean, this show, just think, let's say it just gets medium-sized. Let's say I start having 50,000 regular listeners. Can you imagine the value of a 30-second commercial spot every episode if I do, say, one every 2 days? You could literally bring in tens of thousands of dollars for donating $5. Ridiculous investment opportunity. But that shows, to me, it shows that nobody has faith in this show. I must be the only one, and I'm not going to let up. I'm going to keep doing it. The donation is on the Facebook page. I'm not one that likes to push things. I mean, Ask Apocalypse, I never talk about my books. I got 4 books for sale on Amazon. But Barco, I got to warn you now, the commercial spot cannot be extremely racist, extremely sexist, or bragging about felony-type behavior. So don't donate if you want your commercial spot to be like that. However, if you can keep it semi-professional, you can advertise anything you want, even if it's a site to, yeah. But I'll give you the link. Let's see, Facebook.com Unist. No, just joking. Truth on Tap Show, bitches. And I say bitches in the most positive way it can be said. In fact, I know somebody who says bitch, and she's being completely positive, but she does have a bit of an attitude. She's talking about a dog, and apparently she's got this I don't know, it's like an ongoing battle with her dog. She sounds very pessimistic when she speaks about her dog. Let's give her a call, see if she'll answer the phone here real quick.
Hi, I'm not here. Please leave a message for my dog, who will return your call as soon as he finishes going through the garbage and depositing it all over my nice clean kitchen floor, turns over his water dish, chews the buttons off the couch cushions, chases the neighbor's cat up the biggest tree on the block, finishes licking himself in areas that are impolite and mixed company, and impregnates the bitch next door. Wait for the bark.
Hi there. I think that you and your dog should go to counseling. And he may have a bit of repressed canine animosity toward authority, which is to say that, he only gets to pee and poop when you let him. He only gets fresh food and water when you give it to him. And he only gets to chase a ball when you throw it. I mean, he is completely at your mercy. And I think it's time to go to the shrink and have the shrink tell your dog that he can be his own dog. And the way to do that is get him to chase his own tail. That's where you start. She cut me off. Well, hopefully she'll take that into advisement. Did anybody ever watch the show I believe it was the 70s, where there was a psychiatrist? I don't even remember. I should remember. I've seen the show like maybe 3 times. What was that show? It was a funny show. Newman or something? I can't remember what it was. You didn't hear the cigs. You heard the lighter. You heard my lighter relighting my cigarette, because the cigarettes are made today to not burn a house down, so they go out constantly. Something about the paper that they wrap them in. But I do have vape fluid coming in. I ordered from Mad Vapes. Newhart, that's right, Lisa, thank you. I talk like him. I didn't know that. The stuttering that I do? Yeah. So that's kind of my thing. I don't mind doing that. That's all right. I didn't mean to imitate him, but I do. I really do. Kissing smokers is nasty. I agree. And I am a smoker. I mean, I'll vape. If I have my fluid, I got some on order. Like I said, I ordered from Mad Vapes, who became very slow in their shipping. I just sent it out today. I ordered like 3 days ago. I've got the Mudslide chocolate flavor coming in, along with the big black cartomizers that go on the what's the model I have? The Ego, the giant Ego, the one that lasts like all day on one charge. So, but my batteries are dying, so they're not lasting that long because I've had this kit for a year or two. Big black what? Well, it just depends. What do you want that's big and black, Lisa? Can you think of something? I can think of something that is actually big and black.
Oh, hello there, children.
Hey, Chef. Chef, you know where shit comes from?
From your ass, children.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I did it. Well, big black caulk flavored. Lisa dates only black guys. That's cool. You guys wouldn't know this because my views on racism have not changed and since I've known the differences between races, so ever. But I have a niece who has a child with a black man. So we technically do have black in our family now. And it was amazing to watch certain members of the family react to that. And then to watch how they grew. And I tell you, it's a challenge. I'm sure it's a challenge for black families too, when suddenly they've got a half white in their family or more than half white, I don't know. It's a challenge. It's a challenge because society's going to punish them. You know it. Until we truly develop past race, society's going to punish you for being anything other than a pure member of your race. It's a sad thing. Apocalypse, I was thinking about you today, bro, and I was thinking about you in regard to philosophy. And what I was trying to figure out is when I was reading about Socrates and the pursuit of happiness, think about your situation, Apocalypse, okay? I'm not going to mention any specifics about you. I mean, you've already mentioned it all on your show, so I doubt you consider it confidential, but that's not my place to mention things about your life. But I was thinking about where you work and what you do, and I was thinking about your schedule, and I was thinking about where you live and who you live with. And I was thinking about how proud you might be if you were in another situation. Does that make any sense to you? And I think personally that you're on a path. Somehow, I just get this feeling that you are on a path of climbing up. You're not one of those people who's happy just being right where you are. So you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I was thinking about you today in relation to Socrates and the path to happiness. No, I'm not in his business. I was just thinking about him today. Apocalypse is my favorite person. When none of you fuckers were here, back when my show first started, Apocalypse would show up in the chat room. And I'd be like, hey, somebody loves me. Somebody cares. He says, I'm very proud to work where I am as I plan to climb the corporate ladder. See? I knew it. And you never said that, as far as I know. Some things I can just sense, man. I can sense when someone is complacent. I can sense when someone is very depressed and has given up. I can sense when they're burnt out. I can sense when they say things they're going to do, but they're not really going to do them. It's more of almost a self-motivational speech that never works. That's what promises have become. Have you guys noticed that? Yeah, I'll be there Sunday at 10, man. You got it. And you got that friend that never shows up. They're almost trying to talk themselves into it. That's what promises have become. You realize that just 30 years ago and before, a promise was a big deal. You don't make promises and not keep them. Now, a promise is just kind of a hope. It is really accepted as just, well, maybe. What a shame that is. You should not believe in promises, folks. You can't. I mean, we were just talking about happiness. Apocalypse has heard me say this a million times. I honestly believe that most unhappiness comes from failed expectations. If you control your expectations and you reduce them, seriously, just reduce them, your happiness level is guaranteed to jump. Now, the only thing that can make it jump more in one fell swoop is to get the negative people out of your life. If you do both of those things in one fell swoop, do me a favor, folks. All right, I'm going to make your life 5,000% better over the next week, because I've got a 3-pronged trifecta effect for you to apply to your life. First, get all the negative people out. Get them out of your social circles. If they're at work and they're negative, tell your boss you can't work around them. They're depressing you. Or I don't care what you have to do. Just tell them you can't work around them anymore. If they're family members or friends, get them out. If you can't get them out, isolate yourself from them. Okay? Get the negative people out. Deal with only neutral and positive people. Number two is to lower your expectations. If you've been at a weird job that pays you under the table, and typically you get paid on Friday, but that only happens about 1 out of 5 times. Usually it's like maybe Saturday or Monday you actually get paid. Stop expecting your pay on a Friday. Expect your pay on a Tuesday. You will always be pleasantly surprised then. That's all you have to do is change your expectations. It is a skit, but it works, Lisa, I swear to God. Just don't go. If someone promises you something, just like I just said, don't expect it. Just say, I see they wish they could, and they may, but I don't expect it. And that way you are not disappointed when it doesn't happen. And the third and final prong of this devil's pitchfork that's going to bring your happiness up 5,000% in a week is to stay positive for 1 week. Take this challenge that my friend Chris Levesque hit me with, which is to have positive thoughts. You don't have to be like Mary Poppins, all right? We're not talking about everything is so happy and I go to bed dreaming about candy canes and bouquets of flowers. Shut the fuck up, Mary Poppins. Nobody's that happy. In fact, you being that happy makes the rest of us depressed because we wonder what we're doing wrong. But you could still be somewhat happy. And I'm saying take the positive thinking challenge. That means when negative thoughts start creeping into your head, kick them out. So I'm not thinking about that. I'm not wasting my brain power to worry about something that'll probably never happen. Of all the things you've ever worried about, some of them you were sure were going to kill you. Which among them have killed you? None? None have killed you? So can't you start drawing from that a reasonable number of what the chances are going to be for something terrible to happen? Considering how many terrible things you've worried about that have not happened to you. So there's your 3-prong attack. Kevin has dropped, we'll do it when I'm on a holiday. Well, Andrew, I think that means that you deal with people at work that will not allow you to think positively. But I'm telling you, you can conquer it, bro. You can conquer it even at work. I have 1, 2, 3 computers and a Macintosh, which I don't like to work on, to get out in the next 3 days, and they're going to kick my ass, and I'm going to be their friends. Yes, I am. I'm going to be those computers' friends, or at least be thinking about the people I'm fixing them for, because that'll lift my spirits a bit. All right, I'm pulling it up, Barco. I'm pulling up this link you sent to me. Open link in a new tab. Oh, you've got me. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy, Disneyland. Okay, this is a 38-second video, so I'll go ahead and look at it. This better not be scary. I don't like it when stuff jumps out at me. One thing kids like is to be tricked. For instance, I was going to take my little nephew to Disneyland, but instead I drove him to an old burnout warehouse. Oh no, I said, Disneyland burned down. He cried and cried, but I think that deep down, he thought it was a pretty good joke. I started to drive over to the real Disneyland, but it was getting pretty late. Are you serious? No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not what I'm talking about. Barco, that's mean. That's just plain. No, it's not lowering expectations. You didn't have to put the expectation in his head that he was going to Disneyland. You can't tell a kid you're going to Disneyland and then not go. You might as well kick them in the face. They'd rather feel the pain than the letdown from not going to Disneyland after you told them you were going. That's different, man. I'm talking about you as an adult who has come to expect things and finds himself or herself routinely disappointed. Think about the things that you find yourself most disappointed about because you expected an outcome that didn't happen. I say stop expecting that outcome. It's not reasonable anymore. In fact, instead of just expecting typically what happens, expect a little bit less. You know that maybe, you're thinking, well, I deserve more. I deserve that top level that I expect. Maybe you do. But what good has expecting it done if you're rarely getting it? What good has it done? All it's done is make you disappointed. So if you can't change this expectation you have, the actual result, then lower your expectation. You'll find happiness. It is a way of fooling yourself, but it works, I swear to God. Lisa's laughing at that. She thinks the Disneyland joke was funny as hell. That's cold-blooded, y'all. That's cold-blooded. That kid will have damage for the rest of their lives. In fact, Disney alone it sets us up for failure, doesn't it? I mean, Disney gets you thinking everything's going to work out beautifully. It could be the Lion King. It could be the Little Mermaid. But whatever happens, you're going to have your knight in shining armor or your glimmering princess. You're going to have your happily ever after. And everything's going to be beautiful and beautiful flowers and you'll live in castles. And what? No. Then you're walking through the ghetto and they get you in the knockout game. And your jaw's crooked and wired shut for 6 weeks. And you're going, no, this isn't what the movie said. See, we set kids up in America and possibly other parts of the world for this expectation that we will never meet. And then we wonder why they're fucked up. I mean, that's what's happened in their teenage years. They're coming to the realization, and they're pretty pissed off about it. That's what I think. So be realistic. Hey, Ash, you will almost always be disappointed. That's right. You shouldn't expect anything. That also goes for, you may have heard the phrase, if you ever want to lose a friend, make him a loan. And it's true. You ever notice that? You loan a friend money, and what will happen is typically, especially with younger people, they will find a way to fight with you, something to fight with you about so that they can avoid you forever. And it'll be your fault. No good deed goes unpunished. But the thing about loaning a friend money is what you should do when you first do it is don't loan anything to anybody that you can't live without. Just go ahead and chalk it up as a loss. If you get it back, God knows, if you get it back with interest, great for you. But just don't give somebody anything that you cannot afford to live without. That's what I say. I don't lend money. I just give people money or not. That's the way to do it, Barco. Lisa owes me $5. Rick, is this Ricky Sands? Let me open up this tab and see. I don't know. That's Ricky. I don't know if that's Ricky Sands or Rick Sands. You people tell me, Apocalypse has me going to these shows. And Lisa, do you have a show? I don't even know. You guys may know that I have created an imaginary town called Fucktardia. And in it, we do the dumbest things, the very dumbest things you can possibly do in any situation, be it political or, environmental. Doesn't matter. Religious. We do the dumbest things we can. And that way we can compare that to what we're doing now. And actually, it makes us look good. But most of us are what I refer to as Fucktardian refugees. We're fleeing from Fucktardia. We're in an eternal state of running from the town of Fucktardia that I made up. And not all of us get away from it. Not all of us get away from it. Some of us get sucked back in. It's kind of like your mom's house. Like the comedian said, what was his name? One of them redneck comedians said, your kids are going to leave you, but don't you worry, because they're coming back, and they're bringing more with them. And it's true. Sometimes you just get pulled back. There's this magnetic attraction back to the town you came from, your mom's house, one of your siblings' houses. You just find it's almost like a rotational, cyclical thing, you know. I think that's normal. Your mom's house, no one can escape, that's right. Plus, she feeds you good. That's one great thing about going back to mom's. You know you're going to eat well. Redneck is a racist term? I guess it is. But I don't know what to call rednecks. What do I call them if I can't call them rednecks? I mean, I can call white people, black people, Asian, Hispanic. What do I call a white person who has more than 3 broken down cars in the yard at any given time? If I can't call them a redneck, I don't know how to differentiate. Maybe I am a little racist. Well, I told you that some racism is natural. Some is natural. You know, if you were to grow up in a cave and you never read any books and you never hung around any people and you ate bugs and drank rainwater that came down the side of the walls, and you came out and you could see your skin, you never saw yourself in a reflection, but you could see the color of your skin, and you were rescued by a black tribe, you would know right away, they're not like me. What are they? So nature versus nurture comes in, but you can't tell me that you'd be like, well, that's my family now. It wouldn't be that simple, because you'd know you were different. I don't know. Dill hole. You people with your moms and grandmas even. Marco, what do you think about necrophiliacs? Grandma feeds you good. My mom does not cook. Well, we're getting into that generation where moms don't cook. If it's not microwavable, it's simply not prepared. Uncle, brother, sister, mom, dad. No one can escape. Barco's an orphan. Is that what it is? Now, see, this is making sense now. I understand the pain, which leads to the anger, which leads to the Barco. Why would someone name themselves definitely not Barco? I mean, think about that, Barco. They wanted so badly to not be you that they named themselves something that made sure everyone knew they weren't you. That must have hurt. I mean, if one of you guys names yourself, true, I have non sequiturs. Well, that's the way I segue. I seg away is what I do. I like to bounce around a bit. It's fun. It keeps things moving. And I don't do drugs, which I think I'm going to start doing drugs, folks. I hate to announce it on this show like that so publicly, but my brain in this capacity has become very tired of this life. And I need to introduce some kind of stimuli to mix things up a bit. So I don't know which drugs I'm going to start doing. I think I'm probably, I don't know, I'll do something. What do you recommend? What kind of drugs should I start doing? Oh, okay. So, definitely not Barco, was Barco. Okay. Smoking bud never hurt anyone, says Ash. Robots are immortal, Paco. I don't know what that means. Heroin, says Ricky. Yeah, you can't have heroin without a hero. I actually knew a guy on heroin once. He was my girlfriend's landlord when I first met, my ex-girlfriend's landlord when I first met her. And he seemed like the most normal guy. But he had gotten out of prison for 5 years on a heroin charge, and he still did heroin daily. And he always looked very tired. That's one thing I remember about him. Yes, I need an upper. That is an absolute truth. I find myself so low on energy all the time. I don't know, most of you guys don't know, but I have moderate knee pain and severe back pain from moderate knee conditions to severe back conditions. And I don't sleep much. So I'll go 3 days without sleep, then I'll get 8 hours, then I'll go a couple days without sleep, then I'll get 3 hours, then maybe the next night get 5 hours. It's very sporadic. So I'm always looking for energy. Become a serial killer. I'm looking for a drug, not an occupation. Ecstasy might be the way to go. Yeah, he could have been a junkie scamming her. Maybe he was a squatter. Maybe he was a squatter spotter. KK, it's because of your height. Notice you don't see any old tall. Oh, that's a good point. Well, I'm starting to bend over, Barco. You know, I'm 6'5", but I think when I'm normally standing at my most comfortable posture, I'm about 5'1", because I'm bent way over. It's the only comfortable thing. Adrenaline rush addict. I've done the adrenaline thing before, man. I've been skydiving twice, which was the best adrenaline rush you can get. And all it did was make me really thirsty. So you wouldn't believe how thirsty you get when you jump out of a plane and fall for 7,000 feet before you open your ripcord. You have maybe another good 13 years. I think you're right. I might make it to, I don't know, what's that? Let's see, 55? That sounds about right. I'll probably live to 55 or 60. So for this show, I've got to really make it work within the next 10 years. I've got to light shit up. I've got to start. I've got to come up with brand new ideas that no one's ever come up with before for a radio show. I mean, I did introduce an imaginary staff. I hadn't heard of anybody else doing that before, but maybe they have, and I just didn't know it. You ever think about that? Like someone comes up with something, but you know hundreds of other people have come up with it, but they haven't heard about it, so it is their, discovery. Well, I guess it's like Columbus discovering America. I don't know. Low-level jumps suck, says Andrew. Give your girlfriend my Facebook profile link so she isn't lonely after you're gone. She won't be lonely. She has forecasts. I've never done a low-level jump. I heard they suck, though. If you do the static line jumps, they take you up to, like, I don't know, 3,500 feet, push you out, and before you even get up to terminal velocity, your parachute's open. So you don't have any fun. It's like a roller coaster drop. But when you jump out at 12,500 feet and don't open your parachute till 5,500 feet, you're falling there for about 60 seconds. And it's just unbelievable sensory overload. I got my first one on video because I didn't think I'd ever go again. And all I could do was stare at the ground. I didn't name my cat Princess. My girlfriend already had my cats when I got together with her 4 years ago. But why would that be a bad name for a cat? I might join the Hells Angels, but the problem is the Hells Angels have schedules. So once again, I'd be setting myself up for failure. I would be setting myself up for massive, massive failure. And speaking of failure, I consider anybody who does not bother to learn at least 2 languages a failure in some sense. So today, we're going to call our Japanese learning line and learn just for 20 seconds here a little bit of Japanese. Let's go.
Thank you for calling Learn Japanese in 20 seconds a day. Are you ready? Let's begin.
I'm ready.
工場があります。私は操り人形が嫌いです。ドキがします。
To sign up for tomorrow's lesson, please leave your name and number after the beep. Sayonara.
Hi, my name's Kevin, and my number is 910-NO-LYING. That's 665-9464. And I just wanted to say one new Japanese word that I learned, and I hope I'm saying it right. I've been practicing this. Godzilla. Oh no, it's Godzilla. One. This Godzilla. Run everyone's. Call Bruce Lee. Godzilla's. Kick him in the knee. Godzilla. Now they always cut me off right when I'm getting started. Bastards. That's the problem with Japanese learning language call centers. You don't know, they don't give you time to do what you need to say, to get going. That's the problem. You guys like cats? We're talking about cats. I know a guy who is not afraid to torture cats, and I know that probably pisses you off when you first hear it. Let's give him a call and see what he has to say about
This
it.
answering machine has been connected to a 5,000 volt power supply that has been wired to this small kitten. If you hang up before leaving a message, little Fluffy here will be blown to smithereens. It's your choice.
I'm leaving a message so that you don't destroy the kitty cat. But you know something? Most people like their pussy electrocuted. I don't think it's going to explode. And if it does, it'll explode with joy and happiness. So, you know, put a TENS unit on the vagina and crank that bitch up and watch it vibrate. You don't know. I mean, it could be quite an ethereal experience there, you know. So, they cut me off again. Let's see if Cheech and Chong is on. We got to call in.
Hello. The number I have just smoked is no longer in service. So please bring me another number over immediately at the tone. Just tell me when you can be here with my new number.
I don't understand what you mean, Cheech. You smoked a number? That tells me that you're high, but that you're also mistaken, because numbers, with the exception of things they put on floats for parades, aren't really something you can touch. They're more of a counting method. It's almost as if numbers aren't even a noun. They're almost more of a verb that is done. So how could you smoke a verb? Could you smoke a fuck? Could you smoke a run? Could you smoke a go? So no, you didn't just smoke your number. You smoked a joint, Cheech. You smoked a big, fat blunt. They cut me off. No, it's not a real number. I present things as if they're real on this show, and yet they're not. But I have done some crank calls. In fact, I called a surgeon who does plastic surgery and got an answering service. You can listen to one of my old shows, something about crank calls and something else. And I said, you know, I'm thinking about getting a sex change. I wanted to see if the doctor could do the breast implants. I haven't started the hormone therapy yet, but I wanted to just see if I could get the breast implants done first to see if I like it. And then I would start doing the hormone therapy and consider the vagina and all that. Is it prank calls? Crank? I don't know. Crank. And I said, you know something? And I was talking to this assistant. I said, I'm thinking about asking this doctor if he can go ahead and put 2 titties on the back as well. I mean, titties all around. If you know, why not give joy to everybody? You're at the bank. Yeah, they're looking at my titties in the front. But the guy behind me, he gets nothing. Nothing but a back. I want to give him titties too. So I'm thinking titties all around. I'm thinking carousel titties. I may even get one put on each shoulder, have 6 titties. It would be like a titty lazy Susan. You know, no matter which way I was facing, you'd get a titty shot. So there's nothing wrong with that. If I were just out to please people, I'd probably go get 6 titties put on. And I don't know about the vagina. I might just add the vagina along and keep the penis, because then I have options. You want to keep your options open, is the way I look at it. I may even have a third organ installed of some type. I don't know what it would look. What would it look like? An elbow of some sort with an ankle, I think, an elbow ankle thing with a lot of nerve endings. What would you do? You just rub it against stuff. What else could you do? You know, you could slap it against stuff. Like a tit armor, says Lisa. Now, what made you say tit armor, Lisa? I mean, do the females that box have tit armor? I was wondering about that. Because, first of all, you know, with those 8-ounce gloves, that would hurt their hand if they hit something that was as hard as iron, or even as hard as an athletic cup. I assume that tit guards are made out of the same thing athletic cups are. If I was a female, I would just, and I was a boxer also, I wouldn't wear those. Hell no, I just have my titties removed. Cut them off. Take them off. They're in my way. Fuck those titties. Every time I run, they blah, 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 blah. Get them things out of my... It's like a speed bag on each side of my chest. I mean, Jesus Christ. I can't lay on my stomach or my head's 6 feet off the ground. Take them things off, man. They're like tumors. Get them off. You know why guys like titties, right? According to Arthur C. Clarke, when he did The Human Animal, they're a subconscious reference to the ass. That's what he said. I mean, that's what a lot of social psychologists say. When they look at the titties, they're seeing an ass. And the ass is an immediate, hardwired response for men that says, I want to get a little bit of that. I want to get a little bit of that. And you give a guy some alcohol, and it sounds like this. I want a little bit more Jack. Yeah, so it changes tune and tone, but mainly stays the same. Apocalypse, you don't believe titties are a reference to the ass? A subconscious reference that makes you think of the ass subconsciously? I think Arthur C. Clarke was onto something, personally. What's TS, Andrew, if you will? That's got to be an Australian thing. I don't recognize TS. TS. I don't know what TS is. Apocalypse doesn't like big tits either. I find small to medium-sized tits more athletic looking. I like that. Because I always imagine a woman with huge tits take off running and fall over or just get beat to death when her titties slap her face to death, and I'm saying, oh no, you're hurting yourself, don't do that, run slower, or hold your titties down, just push them downward like you're trying to get rid of them, and then they won't beat you to death. But now you can't run fast because you can't pump your arms. Oh no, the killer's going to get you. Or if it's like Michael Myers, he doesn't even have to run, he's walking. I mean, you know, with Michael Myers, you go get in a car, you drive across town, pick any building, any one. You go inside, there's a window open. There's a window open. There he is. You don't see him, but you know he's in there. Yeah, that's how Michael works, because he calls ahead. He says, where's this person going? Does she make reservations there? No? Okay. And he calls all the random houses. Is there a person coming there? They are? We have a sister that lives there. Okay. I'm just going to come over and hang out in the attic just for a little while, just to let her know I'm there. And then I'll probably stab somebody in the fucking face, because that's what I do. Well, they locked me up in a psych ward for 20 years. I'm a little pissed. You know, I got to get that rage out. And I do that with a twinch butcher knife. And very impressive hunting skills, if I may say so. Athletic looking, more like a man's. Barco, are you telling us something about yourself? Athletic looking, no. I just mean round and firm and not D or larger. That's all. Trannies. Transsexual. Okay, got it. Hey, can you guys tell me what a twink is? Now, I'm not going to tell you where I saw that word. Well, I might as well. As you know, most men have their favorite pornographic sites. Some of us are very boring in our preferences. We like just the standard thing. If I had a favorite, I might say something like, I like to see one man, one woman, doggy style. I might say something like, I'm not saying it, but I might say something like that. So when I'm looking on my favorite porn site and I see a category called twink, I don't know what that means. And I don't want to find out. I'm afraid to look at it. So could someone tell me what twink is? I'm not even going to Google it, because last thing I need is my girlfriend looking at my computer saying he was searching for twinks. And I don't even know what a twink is. I don't know if it's short for Twinkie, and you do something with the Twinkie, like Bill Clinton did with the cigar, or if it has something to do with the type of filling that's in a Twinkie. So we're getting into like a cream reference. I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know what it means. I take it Kevin's girlfriend is fine with Kevin being on Spreaker all the time, because it means she doesn't have to listen to his various theories. I don't know. That's a weird thing for you to say. She loves my theory. We talk a lot. We talk all the time. I like her theories too. Don't listen to him. It's safe to Google. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Definition. I'm specifying definition of twink. Twink is a gay slang term defined by the Oxford Dictionary to mean a homosexual or effeminate, or a young man regarded as an object of homosexual desires. What? An attractive, boyish-looking young gay man. The stereotypical twink is 18 to 22, slender, with little or no body hair, often blonde, dresses in club wear. So this is a subcategory then of homo. How did it get its own category? What? So they're now breaking down homosexual into certain types of homosexuals. What a strange thing. I don't understand that. I'm definitely getting old. I'm definitely getting old. Fuck that. No, it doesn't. It just means, Apocalypse, that my favorite porn site, which I'll be happy to share with you, it is al4a.com. It's the one that I've viewed on and off for, I don't know, 20 years. Well, they came around in 96ish, so 18 years. They don't install spyware. They don't have all kinds of weird shit, but now they're getting into that, which is a heartbreaker for me. And I saw twinks, and I said, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at that. And it was a little scary, because I thought, oh no, there's a whole new kind of sex. It's not hermaphrodite, it's twink. And it was right after they stopped making Twinkies. So I thought there was a relation there. I was completely wrong. Yeah, al4a.com. The thing about AL4A is they don't scam you. You don't get these fucking 30. When I was working on computers in Vermont, I would have men bring me their computers and say, my wife is pissed. Every time I open a browser, 400 windows pop up asking if I want a dick enhancement breast job. And I would have to fix it for them. And I would tell them, look, if you're going to go to porn sites, and you are, because you're a male and you have testosterone, go to AL4A. It doesn't fuck you up and install all kinds of dumb shit. I know hermaphrodite because I accidentally stumbled onto it one time, terrified. I had nightmares for 7 weeks. I said, oh no, what is it? And I felt bad because that's a human being. But the human being had options. In fact, I thought, I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. So I thought, that's pretty cool. You have options now. But I wouldn't want to be one. Andrew, in Australia, is sex as taboo as it is in America? Curious about that. What do you guys like over there? What do you like and what do you talk about? Or is it, oh no, we're Christian. We don't talk about anything that's under the clothing. I'm curious. I know Europe in general is a much more liberal type of view on sex than we have here in America, which I still don't understand. I mean, America's not afraid of anything, but we won't talk about some sex? We won't have a nude beach? What the fuck's going on? I don't know. Mike Myers' favorite target is rumored to be a hermaphrodite. I did not know that. IXXX.com, best porn site. What makes IXXX.com the best porn site? You've never had pop-ups from it? You've never had any kind of tracking cookies type stuff from it? Or references to other sites? Lisa says they're not now doing it. That's been around for a while. Oh, Twink has been around for a while. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. Twink. Oh, Apocalypse actually defined Twink. Okay. I don't know what Teletubby porn is. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to try to address something I don't understand. So Apocalypse says that site he mentioned, IXXX, has the best from every category. I'm one of those guys that likes to be introduced to new information, and as such, I'm going to be forced to check out that website. I sure am. Now, they're not going to throw twinks in my face, are they, Apocalypse? I'm not going to be introduced on the site with somebody with both a vagina and a penis right there in my face going, look here, clap, 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 plunk, plunk, plunk. I don't want that. I don't want confusion. And I have nightmares. Even though I'm not scared of anything, things can work on my subconscious mind. And if I have a dream about a giant vagina chasing me that also has a penis growing out of its head, then that's not going to be a fun dream for me. I'm going to wake up sweating. I'm probably going to wake up running, or limping in my case, toward the refrigerator, because I do weird things when I have bad dreams. So there's a good chance that I'll have a broom in my hand and a can of Lysol in the other hand, and be heading for the refrigerator, calling the cats, because I don't know. You don't know when you wake up. You're just doing stuff. I don't want to do that. You're safe there. Lisa, do you know about IXXX? Do girls do porn sites? Tell me about this. Tell me about girls and porn sites, because I've seen some things when it comes to women and how they interact with porn sites, and seems to me they've really got to be in the mood. That testosterone has to really be spiking. Andrew, talking about Australia, says, hard to say, Kevin. I can only say I had no problems getting a date in the States. Maybe the accent. Guarantee you, Andrew, the girls love Australians here. I mean, everybody here loves Australians. We like you guys, but the women particularly immediately go to the Crocodile Dundee reference, and they're all over it, because Australian men are generally seen as more manly than the average American man. Tougher, alligator wrestlers, unless you get down in Louisiana. Whoa, Lisa, breaking it down Barney style for me. Of course they do. Don't be ridiculous. Lisa's a porn addict. I have a dozen site members. Lisa, you are a girl, I presume, because I'm on Spreaker, so I can't be sure. I see a picture of a girl, and I see a girl's name. And I'm not trying to offend you at all, but yeah, I see a girl there, and she has 7 followers with no tracks, so that's impressive for her, No, Andrew, girls like gay porn like my ex-wife. I've heard that, man. I've heard a lot of girls dig that. Wonder why that is. I guess it's just seeing 2 guys instead of 1. Hey, more is better. Oh, she's in her sexual prime? Okay. Yeah, I'm 42, Lisa. I'm past mine, and I got to tell you, there couldn't be a more thankful person in the world. As my testosterone level started dropping, my mistakes, my truly regretful behaviors started dropping. It's a perfect linear relation, and the correlation is irrefutable. And I am so glad that I have some control over my life again, and I'm not just chasing ass all the time. Yeah, it makes a huge difference in the quality of life. I know some guys probably get depressed by it. Oh, I'm not really, nothing really excites me anymore, which isn't true. I mean, that might happen around the age of 60, but it's much less frequent, and it's much less powerful, that animal thing that turns on inside of you and says, breed, bitch, breed, motherfucker, breed. I never thought about cutting my nuts off when I was 12. Probably should have. God, that would have saved me some trouble. Jesus Christ. Why didn't you tell me that 30 years ago, Barco? Fuck. 43, worse than ever. Andrew, well, over in Australia, I mean, you guys are animal men, so you're still getting your horn on. I don't know. Here, I think it has a lot to do with TV. Speaking of TV, I told you guys I was going to talk a little bit about philosophy tonight, and I've got this article up in the Atlantic called "What Would Plato Think of TV?" And this Rebecca Goldstein says she imagines this famous thinker in the modern world with her new book, Plato at the Googleplex, Why Philosophy Won't Go Away. And I just wanted to read you one little quick excerpt from it. And it's, she says what he would think of TV, and I just wanted to read it to you. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. No, this is about movies. Let's see. I think it's up at the top. I think I missed it. Let's see. She actually plays Plato on Twitter now. She pretends to be Plato. I remember she characterized what he would think of TV. And she uses Yeah, here we go. So the question from this interviewer was, how do you think Plato would respond to the cultural dominance of television and cinema? And this is her response, and I think she's right. She says, he'd be very alarmed. You can't help but think immediately of his allegory of the cave in The Republic. The lowest form of consciousness is that of prisoners in the dark staring at images. Prisoners in the dark staring at images. That's us in TV in America. He would be quite in despair. He would think that we were enchanted by the lowest form of thinking. To think is to be active. Passivity is the death of the mind. But he wouldn't oppose all of contemporary culture. Just this past week, she started tweeting as Plato. She guessed, I'm not ready to stop impersonating him. And this kind of thing, the dialogue that happens on blogs and social media, I think he would be into it. So Plato would be a twatter. I think he'd be intrigued by that aspect of popular culture, the verbal and the written exchanges. The Greeks were just as obsessed with celebrity as we are. Fame was a way of defeating death for them. I don't think that's ever going to change. If you can do something that's immortal, then you become immortal. I believe that. I wonder if Lee Harvey Oswald was thinking that when he did his thing. Guys, my voice is about at the end of its capacity. Apocalypse, can you find us a show to go to that's on tonight? I know it's a funny time. It's just after midnight on a hump day. But just after midnight on a hump day is a good day to hump, just after midnight. Let's see if Apocalypse can find us all a show to go to so I can stop talking and just type with you guys. Didn't Plato's The Allegory of the Cave presage TV? Australia has a man shortage. Alaska has a woman shortage too, but it didn't stop me from getting laid when I was there. Yeah. Well, you know. Oh, let's see. Thank God we do, Barco. Oh, I didn't realize. Well, I wonder what the percentage of the shortage is there, Andrew. That works out great for men. You know, Oprah did a show back in about, I think it was roughly about 1990, about the shortage of women in Alaska. And she brought on these, what she called good-looking men, about 6 or 7 of them, and was saying, ladies, look, you know, these guys are up in Alaska and they can't find women. And since then, and ever since then, I think the women have been piling up in Alaska, looking for these dream guys that don't really exist, because 95% of the guys up there are little hermits, you know, or otherwise Eskimos, and they stay within their tribe. So you go up there and you go, shit, you know, it's just a lot of women and now it's cold. So that's no good for me. But it wasn't like that when I was up there. It was still pretty dry, if you will. No one wants to be in Alaska. Too damn cold. Coldest I ever got while I was there was 72 degrees below zero, and they let us stay home that day. Barco, start a show after this. No, you, APOC. APOC only does a weekly show. He's very strict to his schedule for some reason. Apocalypse not seeing anything. Well, if you can't find anything, I know I can't. I just go and look at the live shows on Spreaker and see if I recognize anyone. I mean, I'll go look, but the chances of me recognize anybody when you don't, pretty much zero. Yeah, let me leave the Urban Dictionary's version of twink behind and instead go look at what's live on Spreaker. I wonder when iHeart's going to start simulcasting our episodes live. Oh, let's see, live now. Some of these are 24/7 and they just spin discs, so you gotta watch out for those. Or they're foreign language. Anybody ever listen to Beyond the Hype Radio? I'm not recognizing any of these people. I'm seeing a lot of Spanish stuff. I don't know what an ACR, alternate current radio, I don't know what that means. The gospel, no thank you. Let's Party People. That might be interesting. TMZ Radio, entertainment. I don't know. Scrubs Radio, TMZ. If you guys don't find something, I'll share that one. We can look at that. Episode 62, Aliens. That could be interesting, the After Hours show. What do you think, guys? Aliens or The Party Show or Honey Badger Radio? Who knows? You know, maybe we should try something new. Let's see what the votes suggest. No, Ash won't. Ash will start a show. Oh, damn it. All right, well, I'll tell you what. So all cheap. I'll share, what did I just miss? And crap. I don't know. This one's got some likes already, so maybe it's worth something. Let's, it's got more likes than I have. But then again, how long have they been running? It's called Let's Party People, TMZ Radio. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and see if it's doing talk or what. Yeah, they're talking. Well, let's try it. Fuck it. Open link in new tab. Copy. The thing. What is TMZ anyway? All right. Well, here's the show I'm going to go to. You guys, if you want to take a chance with me, let's go there. And then we can leave there and go to another one if we find it. But I can't talk anymore. I don't like talking anymore. I don't want to talk anymore. Well, if you have another one, Lisa, if you can find one under the live shows that you like, we'll go there instead. Scrubs Radio, I don't know. Do I recognize anybody here? Nobody does a show on Hump Day at midnight? What's wrong with you people? High Five Radio, I've seen them around. Use Your Words, One Blunt Radio. Let me play this and see if it sounds halfway interesting. Oh Jesus! Oh, don't listen to them. The audio quality is, oh my God, oh my God. It just sounds like people screaming in the auditorium or something. Let's see if you guys came up with anything in the chat room. Oh. Okay, Apocalypse has something. Wait a minute, isn't that the one that's the one I just shared? All right, well, that's the one we're going to then, folks. Follow over there if you don't mind. And if we don't like that, we'll go somewhere else together, holding hands and skipping through the tulips as if we have sundresses on and we're trying to air our vaginas out. Yeah, why not? You know, that's what I think we should do. So what I'm going to do is close down this show. And for those that may have joined late or are listening much like a stalker might, in a very subdued manner, I will play a quick commercial for you to figure out how to follow this show in the future, and then I'm turning it off. Yeah. Do my 7-day Stay Positive challenge. That means stay positive for 7 days. Do something nice for a stranger. Do that, and get the negative people out of your life, and lower your expectations, and I guarantee in 7 days' time, your life will take a major turn toward happiness, away from whatever it is you're in now. Promise you. That is that. Here goes this.
To Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
Ladies and gents, this is Kevin Kierstead, host of Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap. I hope you're enjoying the show. Truth on Tap is focused on bringing you absolute truth about everything from mainstream media to comedy, from psychology to the paranormal. This show keeps it real, not the fake kind of real, the real kind of real. That same spirit also covers our Caps on Tap show, about the Washington Capitals. Caps on Tap shows air only after Capitals wins at this time. Please come like our Facebook page and join the conversation at facebook.com/Truth on Tap Show. Truth on Tap has been picked up and promoted by iHeartRadio, the internet audio mega monster, so shows are available there as well as on Spreaker and a limited selection on iTunes. To get in on a show's chat, you can chat from the Facebook page I mentioned or go to www.spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap and look for the live episode or call in at 910-NO-LYING. That's 910-665-9464. Thanks again for checking out Truth on Tap and Caps on Tap.